try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race, life is a chase. I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain, pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane, pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, you check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession, all in his possession. You got their attention, I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race, life is a chase. I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambition.
What up, what up, what up, Finn fans? Welcome to another episode of the Finn Posse Podcast. I'm your host, Big C. How's everybody doing this morning? This is brought to you by Game Changers Media. How is everyone doing this morning? Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a sunshine day. Good morning, Elwood, Costa Nostra, Michael, Glenn, Michael. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Tell me the 4 players you should take at 13. Aquavision, what's up? Miller, what's up? Watch out for the Tyreek trade. It's coming soon. I don't know about that. Big C, I think good players don't want to come to the Dolphins. I don't know if it's that. Do you think players don't want to come to Miami? I mean, the weather's beautiful, no state tax, air-friendly coach. I mean, we're kind of a mess right now, but kind of a mess right now, but I don't think it's that players don't want to come here. Why wouldn't you? I mean, we pay people large amounts of money, and like I said, no state tax, no. There's lots of positives about coming to Miami. That's a good thing. So I don't think it's that players don't want to come. I don't think that's the case. I just think that Chris Greer, Mike McDaniel must have told Chris Greer about spending, or maybe maybe we just misread things. Maybe we misread things. They finally said, "Oh, we understand that the offensive line's an issue." Well, they went out and signed a free agent, and we don't know because a year ago they were saying, "Oh, you guys are more worried about the offensive line than we are." And maybe they feel like they've addressed it enough. Maybe they feel like they've addressed it enough. Maybe they feel like they're good. See, I fell into the trap of thinking that I knew what was going on in their head, and I thought that I knew what they meant when they said that they were gonna address the offensive line, or that the status quo wasn't good enough. I thought I knew what that meant, and I took my own interpretation of their words, and I've came to realize that I have no idea what they meant, because how can you? When will they release Eichenberg's contract details? They're holding that info close. Yeah, I mean, it's because they know that they got to know. They got to, you get people that say, "Oh, I don't watch the news. I don't read the headline." They got to know what people are saying about the signing. They got to know that the fans are not happy about the signing. So, of course, they're not eager to drop whatever ridiculous amount of money they gave him. And I say ridiculous amount of money because any amount of money that you gave Eichenberg is too much money. Is too much money. So last night I was on with CB83. I mean, a lot of you might have seen that. Good morning, Raphael. Akba and Nick Needham are not coming back. I mean, I guess I would have liked to have seen. I wouldn't mind Akba coming back. The love that Barham is getting is wild to me as well. He is worse than Eichenberg. Yeah, I mean, I don't get a lot of the pickups just aren't doing it for me. They're really not. But yeah, I was on with CB83 last night. A lot of you might have caught it. And I kind of want to touch with what we did on his show last night. We went through a list of prospects, and we talked about what if they fell to the Dolphins at 13. What if they fell to the Dolphins at 13? Now, mind you, I've had my heart set on, because Chris Greer and Mike McDaniel obviously haven't. I've had my heart set on sticking to the game plan, sticking to my game plan anyway. And that's going trenches no matter what. No matter what player fancy toy falls to me, I am sticking to the game plan and going trenches, because so many times it has happened that this wide receiver, this corner, or just a player that is not a fundamental piece to building a team is there, and we take them instead of the obvious piece. B-Show, what's going on? Good morning. Will Johnson, our O-line. Membu, Campbell, Banks. Take the needs. Say that center went to New England. Morning, Bonnie. Yeah, I mean, Minnesota released their center, and New England goes and signs them up. So you're drafting for need and not best available. I'm trying to do a little bit of both, Glenn. You know what I mean? Like, I think that, if the best available they got as a tight end, yeah, I'm not taking the tight end. I'm not taking the tight end. But I think some of these players in this draft, the best available is a player of need. I think some of the best players in this draft are defensive tackles. I think some of the best players in this draft are offensive linemen. So I don't feel like it's a stretch to take one of those guys over a Will Johnson. You could get me on board with Will Johnson because he is a position of need. Again, I feel like the trenches affect so much more. I think a defensive tackle is going to affect the overall play of the defense more than a cornerback's going to. Chop was best player available or need last year. I think he was up. I don't think he was best player available. And he was Chop was a need, but he wasn't a need as Chop is an interesting subject because we had two defensive ends, outside linebackers, whatever you want to classify them as, coming off injury. And they probably weren't going to be ready at the beginning of the season. Obviously, Chubb wasn't ready for the whole season. So, Chop was a little bit of a different story, in my opinion. Scotty says, gotta assume that pick 13 will be a defensive tackle or a corner. I agree. I think it's going to be one of those two. Big C, Mel got Dart at 9 to New Orleans. I hope so, Elwood. Because that does mean that someone's going to fall to us. That does mean someone's going to fall to us. Glenn says 4 players that you would consider at 13. The 4 players I would consider Membu 100%. Membu, I'd absolutely consent. I'd consider Membu. Membu is probably my top prospect. Probably Kenneth Grant from Michigan. But like I said, I'd like to trade. If Membu's not there, I'm a big fan of trading down just a little bit. Just a little bit. Will Johnson, I'd consider taking at 13. I'd consider it. And then I guess if Campbell or Banks fell to 13, I'd consider them. But I would envision them not as tackles. I'd see them as guards. Chop's a different story, but I think after free agency, Dolphins draft cornerback at pick 13 and maybe defensive tackle. Defensive tackle is loaded in draft, and why draft one so high? Raphael, that's why I said I'd like to trade down a little bit. Personally, I'd like to trade down a little bit. If Membu's not there, I don't think Johnson's going to be there. So I don't think we're going to have that issue. And then you got Grant or Campbell. Again, you can get those players, I feel like, at 19, 20, 21. So if there's a team chomping at the bit to move up to get their guy, I would love to make that move. I would love to trade back to 2021, still get one of the top defensive tackles, whether it be Kenneth Grant, Nolan, one of the top defensive tackles, and maybe pick up an extra second or extra third round pick. That would be ideal for me. If Membu's there at 13, though, I'm running up to the panel and giving them my draft slip. Now, Glenn, what's your 3? What's your 3 players? What 3 players are you absolutely taking? Sure. I mean, I think that would be decent, Glenn. Anything that can get us an extra second or third, I'm with it. I'm with it because this draft is deep. I'm a big fan of trading down in the first round and figuring out a way to trade back up in the second. Because I think by the time our pick comes in the second round at 48 or whatever it is, I think a lot of the top guys that I would like to add to the team are gone by that point. I'd like to see us get back up to maybe 37, 38 somehow and have a second pick there. At 37, 38, I think we could possibly let's say we get Kenneth Grant at 21. Let's just for shits and giggles. Let's say we get Kenneth Grant at 21, the defensive tackle from Michigan. I think if we can get back up into that second round, we could possibly get there's a good chance that we could get a Malachi Starks. There's a good chance that we could get a Tyler Booker, the guard from Alabama, right there at that 37, 30, 36, 37 range. And then if we had picked up an extra second rounder for trading back, we should still have our pick at 48. At 48, you could get a safety. If you don't get Malachi Starks, I think you get the safety Winston from Penn State or Watts from Notre Dame. Raphael says, I stay at pick 13 in draft. I think we have enough picks in the draft to fill spots on roster. Yeah, Raphael, we got enough overall picks. I'm talking about high end picks. I'm talking about second round picks. Top of the draft picks. I don't care about them fifth, sixth, seventh rounder ones. I'm talking about where you can add a starter today. How many day one starters are fans anticipating from this draft? I think if we get two, we're lucky. Scotty, I'm trying to come up with a way that we get three. I'm trying to. That's what I'd really like to see. I'd like to see us get three. Booker going in the first in the 20s. I've seen him go a lot lower than that. I don't know why that in a lot of the mock drafts that I've seen Booker go a lot lower. People are saying Washington will want to trade back after the Tunsil trade. They pick 29. If we can trade back to the 20s and back up to 29, we can get an interior guy and Starks possibly. Yeah, I mean, that's B-show, something like that would definitely work. What's going on, Timothy? Because of the whole, I'm willing to do anything that can get us three starters coming out of this draft. I think that we need three starters coming out this draft. I think an offensive lineman, a defensive tackle, and then either a corner or a safety. I really like the corner out of Ole Miss. Amos, I think his name is. Check him out. Read up on him. He's a phenomenal player. Trying to move around and get three is a realistic try. If we can only get two, that means Eichenberg is starting left guard because those two will be defensive. I don't know if it means that, Scotty. I think there's going to be a second wave of free agency. There always is. We need three starters from the draft if we are going to be competitive. I agree, Bonnie. Better get three starters. No excuse not to get 4 or 5 starters. Round 1 through 3 must starts with round 4 through 6. Yeah, I mean it's a deep class, but I mean our number one excuse is that Chris Greer is running this draft. So I mean, I think 4 or 5 starters is a pipe dream, but what up, Shake Money? I'm sorry, brother. My bad, homie. If we trade down, I'd be happy to pick up Booker, Starks, or Grant. Yeah, absolutely. And like I said, I'd like to see us be in a position to get maybe 2 of those 3 players. Do we have to give up a little draft capital? Sure, why not? But I think getting 2 of those 3 players you just listed, it could be seriously imperative to the success that we could have this year. I was looking over the stats, and when we first really got, what was the year that Mike McDaniel came in 2022, correct? So he's going into his 4th year coaching this year. I keep pressing upon how important the offensive line is to the success of Tua Tagovailoa, to the success of this running game, to the success of this offense. And, it kind of surprised me as I was looking back over the stats from the 22, 23, 24 season, because I keep harping on the 23 season. Number 1 offense in all of football. I feel like we had a real opportunity that if we didn't suffer the injuries we suffered, that we had a real opportunity to make a run. I swear to God, I think that team was good enough that we should have won the division. We would have won chances are we would have won a home playoff game. So we would have been in, at the very least, divisional round of the playoffs. Divisional round of the playoffs. And I think we were good enough to have another home game. So, I mean, I think we could have definitely made it to the championship game. And I think we were good enough that year to beat Kansas City. Kansas City ended up winning, going to the Super Bowl. We played Kansas City twice that year. The one year was just a game. It was over in England, I believe. We just played horrible. We played horrible. So many mistakes. Tyreek fumbling the ball, ran back for a touchdown. Tua missing open targets. Just so many mistakes. And then you had the playoff game where it's minus 10 degrees, freezing cold. Our whole team was injured. Yeah, we lost. We got our butts beat. Good morning, Archie. I think the regime knows Banks is the perfect fit, can get out in space, play tackle in a pinch, athletic and strong with nasty. Will Johnson, D Jackson, Mukumba, Jake, 1, 2, 3, 4 picks, all starters. Yeah, I mean, the chances that the draft falls like that are it probably is just not going to fall that way. Anytime I try to put a draft together with more than 2 or 3 people, it's just someone's going to jump up and take somebody. Greer, the day after season ended, we are going to invest significantly into the O-line. Results, Daniels, Achilles discount, Ike, Brom. Yeah, I mean, it's rough. Yeah, that was a crazy game, Raphael. But anyway, I keep pressing upon how important the offensive line is. And I was surprised that, the first year that McDaniel was here, we had Austin Jackson, we had Connor Williams, we had Robert Hunt, we had Teron Armstead, but Tua couldn't. That's the year that Tua got the concussions. And actually Tua was having a better season in 22 than he was having in 2023 when we led the league in offense. He was having a better year in 22 than 23. So, I mean, everybody that wants to give Tua slack, the 2 years that he had really good offensive lines, this guy was playing pretty top-notch football. And listen, I'm not a Tua supporter. I'm a Miami Dolphins quarterback supporter. I call it how I see it though. And I think Tua gets a lot of grief that isn't warranted. Now, Tua does enough things wrong that, hey, there's lots of things to say about the guy. You can criticize the guy, and there's enough real things to criticize him about that you don't got to make up narratives. You don't got to make up stuff to criticize Tua about. There's enough about his game and his health that you can criticize him all day long. It kills me when people make stuff up, though. It kills me when people have to make up stuff. In 2022, he played 13 games. 13 games. He had 3,548 yards, 8.9 in an attempt, 25 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, 105.5 passer rating. That's phenomenal stats, folks. For 13 games. For 13 games. That's phenomenal. That's with an offensive line. That's with a competent offensive line. That's with a competent offensive line. The next year, 2023, we had the number 1 offense in football. With a competent offensive line, first off, we averaged 5.1 yards a carry. We had 27 rushing touchdowns. 27 rushing touchdowns, over 2,300 yards rushing between HN, Mostert. So with a competent offensive line, we had 27 rushing touchdowns, averaged 5 yards a tote with 2,300 yards rushing. Tua in 2023 played all 17 games. He had 4,600 yards passing, 8.3 an attempt, 29 touchdowns, and the interceptions was up a little bit with 14. And his passer rating was 101. So Tua actually played better in 22 than 23. But both those years we had decent to very good offensive lines. Top offenses in the NFL when we had good offensive lines. Raphael, we went back and forth with this. Sam Howell was rookie and keeping up with Tua in yardage because the Washington Commanders were losing every game. They were throwing every game, all game long. There was no rush attack. They were just strictly throwing the ball. You know my feelings about Tua and his stats. You remember about Sam Howell comment. Dolphins never played from behind in games that year. Sam Howell was always losing. That's why he kept up in stats though, Raphael. The compare Sam Howell to Tua Tagovailoa is just disrespectful. B-Show says, just build a line and see what we can do. These next year or two, if we need to move on, we move on. I agree. I think we need to move on anyway, just for the fact that we can't depend on him to be here. We can't depend on him for 17 games a year. My main objective as of right now is to compete for wins this year, compete for a playoff berth this year, and build the team for today and for the future. I think building through the trenches not only makes us better for Tua Tagovailoa, but it makes us better for whoever the next quarterback is, whoever the next head coach is. Can we make sure we hit that like button for me, please? Make sure you hit the like button for me, please. Pretty please. I just can't. You can't build a team and go into battle year in and year out without knowing how many games a year your quarterback's going to play. You can't do a guessing game with that. Chef Jew, what's up? What's up? Good morning, brother. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Thank you so much. Yeah, let's help this channel grow. I'm trying to grow it. Listen, I was on. Tell your family, your friends, anybody you may know. I said last night on CB83, if I got to 700 subscribers today, and I know we're like 60 off from that I'll give away this Orange Crush jersey today. Autographed Javon Holland. And $500 cash. If we can get to 700 subscribers today. So you guys spread the word wherever you need to. We get to 700 today. I'll do a drawing tomorrow morning for it. Building for the future. Guess who is the oldest tenure player on this team that Miami drafted? I knew this. Is it the long? Is it Ferguson? Is it Ferguson? Who is it, Glenn? How long's Ferguson been here? I was right, Glenn, or Raphael was right? Well, I don't think Ferguson was cut yet. I got it. What do I win, Glenn? What do I win? Please make sure you hit that like button again. We get the 700 subscribers today. I will be giving away the Javon Holland signed Orange Crush jersey. And I know he's not a Dolphin no more, but that Orange Crush is something special. Make your man cave look extra nice. And everybody can use $500 cash, right? I don't know what it is, Scotty, but we can't continue to pay a guy for no reason. He was one of my cuts. Big Holland fan, Miller. Yeah, I mean, I think we could have brought Holland back for probably 12. I mean, the tax difference between New York and PA, or New York and Florida, 12 million is the same as 15. We pay so much taxes up here in New York. New York is ridiculous with taxes. I hate living in New York for that fact. Everything is taxed crazy. Let's say you're making. When I was the general manager at Domino's, I was making $1,200 a week. After taxes, my check would be maybe 800. And then we used to get weekly bonuses too, which would be anywhere from $300 to $600. They take straight 35% of those. I'm trying to say is where's all the draft picks that should be on their second deals? Yeah, I mean, that's a problem with this team is that we've paid other teams players. I mean, a lot of it is bad drafting. It is. A lot of it's bad drafting and players that didn't deserve to be re-signed. I mean, of all the players you can think of, Glenn, of all the players that have been drafted by the Miami Dolphins, besides Robert Hunt and Christian Wilkins, how many of them players can you name that really deserved second contracts? Yeah, Scotty, you're probably right. New Jersey's got to be high too, though. Yeah. Bonnie says, "Love living in a state with no state tax." Yeah, I bet. But of all the players, I mean, think back on it. How many of them would you have really brought back? There's a lot of poor drafting with the Miami Dolphins. A lot of poor drafting. I mean, Xavier Howard just left the team recently. I know I was super mad when, yeah, Hunt. Besides Hunt and Christian Wilkins, though, and those two players, I mean, it's Chris Greer's fault because Chris Greer let them get all the way to free agency, and by that point, why would you take any kind of discount to sign with Miami? He should have tried the he should have tried to re-sign them the year prior and got them for 3-4 million less a year. R. Davis wasn't that good, bro. Davis was not that good of a defensive tackle. Jordan Phillips, I'll give you might have been able to get him. Godshaw, maybe. But glad we wouldn't have had to pay $110 million a year or for his contract if we would have offered him money a year ahead. Instead of waiting until the year he became a free agent. By that point, you're like, screw it. I'm just going to wait till free agency and see what I can get. Yeah, I didn't think it was any cheaper, Bonnie. I just don't think I couldn't see bringing Hunt back for that much money. But because we drafted poorly, we had to go out and we had to put the team together through free agency. And of course, you overpay in free agency. Look at we had to go get it Tyreek Hills instead of getting young, talented stud wide receivers that we could have on at a low pay grade for 5 years. We had to go trade for Tyreek Hills and give out new contracts. We went and give Bradley Chubb a massive deal, which was stupid. Jalen Ramsey, Teron Armstead. All those are free agent deals that we came out of pocket, huge amount of money that we couldn't. It makes it hard to be able to afford your own players. Hunt was offered an extension during the offseason of his third year. Was he? Because I thought they didn't offer him an extension till his final year, till he was at the end of his final year. Look at all the first round we had lost last 10 years, and Tua is the only one on the team. Well, two of the years we didn't have a first round pick, right? So I mean that drops your odds a little bit. You got Phillips, who well, I mean Austin Jackson was a first round pick, right? He got a new contract. You're probably right, Scotty. I don't know how you keep up with every player's contract negotiations. That's pretty impressive. They chose Austin Jackson over Hunt. AVG, I mean, we should have. AVG was a mistake. That was a mistake. Again, like we have bad front. Our front office is bad, so I mean, it doesn't surprise me. How long has Chris Greer been running the show? I mean, that's your main answer right there, Glenn. I can't defend the reasoning that they do it. Jalen Phillips will ball out this year and be a free agent. You know, if he does, he does. I mean, he's coming off two major injuries, though. I'm on record the saying that we should lowball the shit out of Jalen Phillips now and offer him an extension. I said that maybe 3-4 weeks ago that we should offer Jalen Phillips an extension right now. It would bring down his cap number for this year. I'd lowball the shit out of him, and hopefully he gets back to playing decent football. Scotty says I'm a nerd, laugh out loud. That was a big one that we were following. It was front center contract along with Wilkins. AVG filed Flores. I'm sure AVG would have fought. He would have re-signed here. Austin was a first rounder, so him and Tua. Yeah, it's him and Tua, and then back front office. We had 2 years without a first round draft pick. We had traded the one for Bradley Chubb, and we lost the other one for Spygate or not Spygate, but for talking to people we shouldn't have been talking to. Christian Wilkins, he was just way too much money. Christian Wilkins just happened to have his best year as a pro in his contract year. You're never going to hit on all your draft picks, but we do have room for improvement. Absolutely, Bonnie. I mean, it's a lottery. It's a lottery. You're never going to hit on all of them. Yeah, Elwood tampering. Front office sucks. Look at it. Noah Igbenogany. Terrible pick. Terrible pick. Even the Jalen Phillips pick, let's be real. The guy had to medically retire from college football. We're taking him in the first round. Tua Tagovailoa coming off a contract or coming off a devastating injury that they don't even know if he's going to be able to throw the ball anymore. Waddle too. Glenn, people don't realize how much we paid for Waddle. Waddle cost us 2 first-round draft picks. When we had an opportunity for Jamar Chase, we paid 2 first-round draft picks to draft Jalen Waddle. Wilkins should have been extended after his 3rd year. I agree. But that's what happens when you have a bad front office. A bad front office. Austin Jackson, first-round draft pick. He was coming off some medical stuff where he gave his sister some bone marrow, and he wasn't healthy when he first came into the league. That trade was done pre-draft. You can't lay 2 first-round picks on Waddle. It was done during the draft, wasn't it? Listen, I can absolutely say that it costs us 2 first. If it costs us 2 first-round draft picks, it costs us 2 first-round draft picks. To draft Jalen Waddle, it cost the Miami Dolphins 2 first-round draft picks. You can't change that up. We spent the number 7 pick on Jalen Waddle, and then the pick that it took us to get up to number 7 to get Jalen Waddle. San Francisco traded us 3 first-round draft picks, and we used 2 to get Waddle. I mean, you got Smith and Waddle. They got 2 different skill sets. I mean, you can argue which one you'd prefer. I mean, if I had to choose, I'm probably picking Waddle, but I don't think it's that big a difference that I give up an extra first rounder for him. Yeah, we paid 1 to move up, and then we used an actual first to pick him. So that's 2. Where if we would have stayed at 12 or wherever it was, we would have had the number 12 pick plus 2 first round picks. Regardless, I mean, I just don't think it was a good move. I mean, I like the initial trade with San Francisco. Why did you not trade with 49ers and pick Chase? I'm not even mad at them trading back for 3 first rounders. That's a haul. That's a haul. But you don't use 2 of the 3 to move back up to take Waddle. If you're going to trade back for 3 first rounders, you sit there and you take the pick. He was supposed to be our Tyreek Hill. Even Waddle was coming off an ankle injury. He missed most of his year at Alabama. We forget that too. These injured players that we're drafting, the people that were drafting high in the draft that were drafting on potential. It all falls back on Chris Greer. It all falls back on our front office not being intelligent with the picks, not using our picks wisely, not being wise in free agency. The trade that we made for Bradley Chubb, that was outrageous. In the comments, how many of you would have made that trade for Bradley Chubb? How many of you were happy about that trade for Bradley Chubb? If Miami drafted Chase, no need to get Tyreek, and Miami keeps building through draft. I agree, Glenn. I agree. I'm not saying we should have traded back. I'm just saying I can understand the trade back there. In hindsight, would I prefer Jamar Chase over the trade back? Absolutely. We only take injured player. It's a rule. Not at the price they paid. Raphael says no. Who else? Let's see it. Let's see. Who else was happy with that Bradley Chubb trade? I was so pissed when we got Bradley Chubb and we paid what we paid for Bradley Chubb. And just a week or 2 earlier, the Baltimore Ravens traded for Roquan Smith. Exactly, Elwood. Bonnie says no. Roquan Smith could have been our Zach Thomas player. Everyone wanted Smith. He could have been our Zach Thomas, that quarterback of the defense. And then we get Bradley Chubb a max contract. We traded for Bradley Chubb, and honestly, what did Bradley Chubb overly do in his time with Denver? What was he like, the number 5 pick in the draft? I think he had 1 year over 10 sacks. Other than that, he was kind of, I wouldn't say a bust because I don't think he was a bad player. I just don't think he lived up to his draft rank, if that makes sense. I don't think he equaled out to where he was drafted at. I think he had 1 year over 10 sacks. Bradley Chubb's career sacks. Or Bradley Chubb's career stats. Let's see. In 2018, he was a rookie. He had 60 tackles, 12 sacks. So as a rookie, he had a very good year. 2019, he must have missed some games. He only had 21 tackles, 1 sack. 2020, 7.5 sacks, 42 tackles. 2021, he must have missed some more games. He didn't have any sacks, 21 tackles. 2022, his last year in Denver, 26 tackles, 5.5 sacks. We trade for him in 2022, 13 tackles, 2.5 sacks. And then 2023, he had a good year. 78 tackles, 11 sacks, and he missed some of the season. But in those stats that I just read off, and we had traded for him, in his final 2 years in Denver, he had a total of 5.5 sacks, and we give this guy a max contract and trade a first-round draft pick for him. Yeah, his best year was with us when he got hurt, absolutely. But prior to that, his best year was 2018 when he was a rookie. But his final 2 years in Denver, he had a total of 5.5 sacks. And we go and offer Denver a first-round draft pick. They were trying to move off of him anyway. They were trying to move off of him. Why are we giving them a first round? We could have probably got him for a 3rd-round pick. We could have probably got Bradley Chubb for a 3rd-round pick, and we went and gave out a first-round pick for him. And as soon as he touched down, we gave him a max contract. Like, come on. For 5.5 sacks his prior 2 seasons, he had 5.5 sacks his last 2 full seasons in Denver. Because he played with Tua. Who played with Tua? Zach Wilson got the bag. Should have went on Von Miller. I mean, I don't know, but I thought that was a bad move. A bad move. Miami's biggest problem is that Miami did not have any first-round picks in 2022 and 2023. 2022 was for Tyreek. 2023 was Chubb and penalty. Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Just think we could have added Roquan Smith and still had our first-round pick in 2023. It's rough until there's a change in the front office. We got to expect this. That's why we could do as many mock drafts and say how many players and what players we should pick and what we should do with the number 13 pick this year. But like we've seen year in and year out, God only knows what Chris Greer is going to do with this pick. God only knows what Chris Greer is going to do. And that's a terrible feeling to not have any type of faith in your general manager. What's his most successful pick? Out of all the picks he's made, what's his most successful pick as a Miami Dolphin? What's his most successful move altogether? The difference this year is Greer's bad moves aren't costing us picks or big money. Wilson, Eichenberg, Rom, at least they're relatively cheap misses. Yeah, I mean we're swinging and missing, swinging and missing, swinging and missing. This is just, if we don't turn it around, this is going to cost us. This is going to cost us a full season. I'm getting too old to be sitting here on wasted seasons. Does anyone expect Greer to get it right? I don't expect him to get it right. Do you really think leadership really believes this team is going to stay healthy? Their guys keep acquiring injury-prone players. Yeah, I mean, oh man, it's tough. Safety that went to Pitt. Yeah, everybody wants to give Brian Flores his flowers. He pushed Fitzpatrick out the door. Like I'm not a Brian Flores fan. I think as a head coach, he was. I liked how I have mixed feelings on him because I think he was a man's man. He demanded respect, but at the same time, like he was too much. The fact that you couldn't listen to Micah Fitzpatrick and you let a great player like Micah Fitzpatrick walk out the door, absolutely horrible. Absolutely horrible. Greer does make some good draft picks. It's just not always what we need. I believe this is a quiet rebuild. Owners believe in 1 year turnaround. 2026 is a clean sweep with franchise expectations immediately. TNT. Bro, they signed a dude that's coming off an ACL and penciling him in as a starter. Yeah, I mean, X says he loved Flores. Cool. I mean, of course, some players are going to say they love him. Some, the fact of the matter is he snitched on us. Yeah, Raphael, military, straight my way or the highway, which is, you know what I mean? I don't think you can coach that way anymore. I think that day and age of coaching is over. But in real life, like Brian Flores cost this team. He went out and ratted. He snitched. And, you know what I mean? He snitched on us. He cost us Micah Fitzpatrick. Regardless of what you say about Tua, he didn't give Tua a chance. He didn't give Tua a real legit shot. Absolutely, Glenn. Absolutely. Brian Flores will get the most out of a bad player. He'll get the most out of a bad player. And he can coach the shit out of bad players because bad players don't have no room to talk. They can't stick up for themselves because they're bad players. Brian Flores has problems with the established players that aren't going to let you treat them any type of way. Micah Fitzpatrick is a top prospect. He wasn't going to just let you shit on him. You know what I mean? The team snitched on him first. I don't see how you say that. I think Greer is looking to get Weaver 2 starters in the first 2 rounds, build up Weaver to take over the team in 26, bring in a whole new offense by drafting a quarterback in a talented class. We shall see, Scotty. We shall see. When it comes to Chris Greer, it's very hard to predict anything he's going to do. Minka Fitzpatrick. My fault, Miller. Minkachu. Fitzpatrick, best player Greer ever drafted. Possibly. I'd have to look at the list of them. How many wins do you see this team with 2 players contributing from the draft? If we can listen, Jim, if we can get, if I can, do I get to pick the 2 players from the draft? You let me. If I can add 2 players from the draft of my choosing and 2 free agents, I'll tell you how many. I don't believe that to be true, Shake. Okay, so I'm taking Membu and I'm trading back up to get Kenneth Grant, Nolan, one of the top 5 defensive tackles in this draft. One of the top 5 defensive tackles in the draft. So I'm getting Membu, offensive guard. Let's just say I'm getting an offensive guard and a defensive tackle that are going to be starters for this draft. And then in free agency, I'm going to bring in Stephon Gilmore, and I'm bringing Calais back. I'm bringing Calais back too. If I can get Gilmore, Calais, offensive guard, and a defensive tackle, I'm saying this team, if Tua can stay healthy, because that's still the biggest thing, if Tua can stay healthy, I'm saying this team can win 12 games. I'm saying this team can win 12 games, compete with the Buffalo Bills for the division. If we don't address the offensive line until later in the draft, if we don't address the defensive tackle early in this draft, I can see us winning, and Tua gets hurt, I could see us winning 5 games. So it's a very big discrepancy between players. I think if Flores gets another chance, he'll be a real good coach. He will lessen for the first experience. I believe so too. Just like Vic Fangio, Shake Money, you don't have to believe it. All you have to do is look at the timeline. X, Fitz, Tunsil, all the best players GM drafted. My free agency would have been Banks, Greenlaw. Yeah, I would have took Greenlaw. Banks was too expensive in my opinion. I would have drafted Membu and Watts and entire team because Waddle played with Tua. Oh, okay. Shake, first off, if Brian Flores would have been a good soldier and did what he was supposed to do, we would have had Joe Burrow on this team too. Like, come on. You can't sit there and defend it. Listen, Brian Flores got everything he deserved. And you can say, oh, well, he's got integrity, this, that, and the third. Like, come on. Come on. If he would have just lost those games like a good boy, he would have kept his job. He would have had Joe Burrow as his quarterback. There would have been no Tonga Vailoa. You know what I mean? He should have just shut up. Maybe that's not a popular position that I'm saying, but I'm a Dolphins fan and I wish the best for this team. And for us to tank that year, that's what's best for this team. Hey, I'm sorry if you guys think that is harsh or that I don't have any morals. The more you look at Greer's decisions, he needs to be gone. Absolutely. If you sit back and look at it, it's hard to believe that he still got a job. It's hard to believe he still's got a job after all the prospects, all the guys he drafted out of potential, all the missed picks. Let's not forget that he drafted Charles Harris over TJ Watt. You know what I mean? Charles Harris over TJ Watt. Noah Igmadogany over Jonathan Taylor. I would never tell a coach and a player to lose games. I'm not saying I would neither. But if the owner came to me and said, if you do this with a bad team, you guys ain't really going nowhere anyway. You're going to win some meaningless games. You can have Joe Burrow next year. You know, maybe I sit Xavier Howard. I would never go to the quarterback and say, hey, throw an interception on this play. Hey, fumble the ball. I would never do that. And I think that's wrong. And I think that's completely wrong. I would never diminish a competitive event like that, a sporting event like that. But there was ways about doing it the right way. Hey, you know what? Our best receiver sits down this week. Hey, our corner sits down this week. You're dealing with an injury. Oh, you stubbed your toe. Sit down for a month. You know what I mean? You're screwing over 53 guys actively trying to keep in the league. Never mind the coaches trying to keep a job. I'm sure. Listen, Miller, I'm sure he was like, hey, you can keep your job. You know what I mean? As a fan, I'd be pissed that the team intentionally loses. I mean, I can see it. I can see being mad, but having Joe Burrow for the next 15 years, man, I'm just frustrated. You know what I mean? I can't honestly say that I would do that because as I look at, he didn't have to snitch though. He didn't have to snitch. You could have respectfully turned him down. If Flores gets a head coaching job, he hired McDaniels as an offense coordinator. The odd couple. These are players' careers. I mean, teams tank. They do tank. They do tank one way or another. Teams tank. The NBA is definitely known for it. Yeah, I mean, Miller, I don't think they're going to fire the coaching staff if they were the tank. If they come to you and say, hey, lose games, they're not going to come and fire you guys. You know what I mean? I think Giants fans were a little upset when they won at the end of the season. Yeah, I would have been upset about that. I never want to lose. I hate tanking strategy. Yeah, I mean, I hate for the team to lose too. I do. Every time we lose, no matter what the situation is, even if we had the first pick up for grabs during that game, if we're losing, I'm pissed. I mean, after the game, I'm going to be pissed if we won because I'm like, damn, we just gave up the first pick. But NBA had to go to a lottery system because of tanking. Imagine that in the NFL. Heads would explode. Yeah, that'd be crazy. Yeah, you can't even tackle a quarterback no more. Yeah, the NBA became unwatchable. Now you got like a mid-season like championship tournament, which is gay as hell in my opinion. The All-Star game, I don't even know what they do with that anymore. The 3-point shootout, the best 3-point shooters in the league don't show up. the slam dunk contest. The best players haven't shown up for that in years. It's sad. You can't come and put on a dunk contest for the fans. Steph Curry can't come shoot some 3-pointers for the fans. I'm sorry if that ran people the wrong way. You know what I mean? Like I can understand the not tanking thing, and I don't want to see this team lose ever. Just the thought of having Joe Burrow is very nice. Having the thought of Joe Burrow is very nice. We had never seen what we had in AVG, and that's the other cheap guys who are not making moves for themselves. Yeah, I mean, we let AVG walk out the door anyway. Take back what I said. You know what I mean? Is it the Dolphin fan in you that feels Flo shouldn't have snitched? I mean, that's the code of life, right? That's the code of life, right? Snitches get stitches. Elwood, are you being serious? You hear Calais Campbell's offer includes a front office position when he retires? Are you being serious? Joe Burrow would have been super nice, and then maybe we would have got. Where did you hear that, Elwood? Did anybody else hear that they offered Calais Campbell a front office position if he re-signed? Did anybody else hear that? Yeah, I mean, if you look at it now, Miller, that would have been a great opportunity. You don't know what truly went down in the background, not in Flo's shoes. Just saying, you're right. You're right, True Blazer. We only go by the things that we hear in the media. You're right. I mean, things could have played out completely different. You know, they could have. Yeah, I mean, anything that has Chris Greer involved in it, I'm sure I'm sure he had a part in messing it up. I have no faith in Chris Greer to do anything correctly. I don't have any faith in him to do anything correctly. So one of the heads on CBS mentioned it. Well, they're going to have to throw in some kind of perks. Yeah, I mean, if you look at even the Vic Fangio thing, how come the Eagles weren't hit up with tampering? How come the Atlanta Falcons weren't hit up with tampering for Kirk Cousins? Kirk Cousins admitted that Atlanta had contacted him before the legal tampering period, and nothing happened. Right? They didn't get punished, did they? Or did they? I know they didn't get a first round pick taken from them like we did. But look at the Eagles. Like, are you telling me that there was no conversations between Vic Fangio and the Eagles? Like, literally, he was signed with them the next day. The next day. Everybody and their mother knew that he was leaving the Dolphins before he got released out of his contract to go to the Eagles. Everybody already knew. Everybody already knew. Yeah, we lost the first and the third. How come the Eagles weren't punished? How come the Eagles weren't punished? It's bullshit. It's really bullshit. Like, if you're going to do something, treat everybody the same. Listen, we only got 13 likes. We got 15 people in the building. Can we get those up, please? Come on, folks. Hit me with those likes, please. We got 16 people in the building. We only got 12 likes. I need those likes to help me grow. Again, make sure you tell your friends, your family, whoever. I'm trying to give away this Orange Crush Javon Holland jersey. And, 500 for y'all. You know what I mean? Couple dollars. I'm bribing y'all. The commissioner hates the Dolphins. Tampering only matters if it comes to us. Cardinals tamper all the time, get caught. Kirk Cousins and Falcons were caught tampering, but no punishment. Yeah. Maybe so, True Blazer. Maybe so. Maybe it was a mix of things. Come on, we still got 15 people in the building and only 14 likes. And one of the likes is me, so. Okay, there goes 15. I lost a subscriber. People don't want this jersey. I know Javon Holland ain't playing with us no more, but y'all don't want this jersey. All right, Shay. My bad, brother. Come on. I'm trying to give away this jersey and these dollars. I appreciate it, Bonnie. Suck for luck was Indy and Ursay's public. Yeah, I mean, there's always been some sort of it. Some sort, you know what I mean? You put players on injured reserve, you do this, you do that. What about tanking like last year Kansas City tanked that game against Denver? What about that? How you guys feel about that? That game that if Kansas City beat Denver and we would have beat the Jets, we could have made the playoffs. Now I know they didn't lose the game on purpose, but you weren't trying to win it. I want some clean Jordan Concords from CB83 show. I gifted them to my son's boyfriend. He lost his father in high school, junior year. I'm sorry to hear that. Your son's best friend or boyfriend, to each their own. Yeah, I mean it's a dope jersey. I like the Orange Crush. I would like to see us wear them once in a while. How do you feel about them Orange Crushes? I would personally like to see us wear them once in a while. There's the you have the Jason Taylor one, Orange Crush. Mark Duper, Orange Crush. That's probably sick. The refs and legal betting has destroyed the integrity of the NFL and will never be the same. Thank you, Shake. I appreciate that. I appreciate you, brother. Yeah, I mean that's a form of taking. That's a form of taking. When you sit out every one of your players and you cost us an opportunity at the playoffs. Let's keep it real. You cost us an opportunity at the playoffs because you started practice squad players. You sat every one of your players that could possibly be sat. It's not like you just sat your quarterback and your tight end. You sat everybody. See, I'm not. I mean, the all oranges are right, but I would like the orange top with the white pants. I think that would be dope. I mean, listen, True Blazer, you're absolutely right. We missed the playoffs on our own, but like the Kansas City Chiefs should have beat the Denver Broncos that last week of the season. Over the last 10 years, how many players drafted by the Miami are starters? I don't know, but we've already came to the conclusion that Chris Greer is just not, he's not it. We all know he's not the answer. We all know he's not the answer. We got 18 people in the building. How many likes we got? We lost one subscriber. I'm trying to give away some money in a jersey. I don't know what's going on. We got 18 people in the building, 16 likes. Let's go. Can't say they didn't tank the entire season. They sat the last game. Still, you're still losing a game on purpose. You're still not trying to win a game that you're supposed to try to win. Whether they for whatever reason they did it for, they still did it. Yeah, I mean, obviously everybody got their own opinion, True Blazer. That's the beauty of this channel. That I love it. I love that. I love for you to have an opinion. If we all had the same opinion, this wouldn't be a channel. It'd be some kind of cult. It'd be like a cult. 19 people in the building. Come on, let's get to 20 likes before the show's over. Let's go. And it did affect the playoffs, Bonnie. Not only us, maybe we didn't deserve to be there, but it cost Cincinnati an opportunity too. And I would have loved to see Cincinnati in the playoffs over the Broncos. I think that would have made the playoffs a lot more interesting. It was a bye week for Kansas City at the end of the season. They had already gotten a bye week. They were the number 1 seed. They were getting a bye. I agree. We should go back to the classic jerseys. Yeah, Cincinnati did. I mean, listen, teams missed the playoffs because they didn't play good enough football throughout the year. But still in all, that last week, they should have had a fair opportunity for the Kansas City Chiefs to beat the Denver Broncos and still the season's not 16 weeks or so. The season is the amount of games it's supposed to be. We can't just take a week off and be like, well, the last week don't count because you played shitty the first 16 weeks. Absolutely. The Dolphins missed the playoffs because of the Dolphins. Yeah, I got a job, Michael. Why? What's up? Oh yeah, I mean, I don't make no money off YouTube. I don't make a dollar. Frozen Finn fan, you're a truck driver from North Pole, Alaska. My dad was born in Anchorage. My dad was born in Anchorage, Alaska. Yeah, I don't make any money off YouTube. I've gotten 2 super chats. One from Raphael for $5, and Armando sent me $100. Good morning, Jose. Yeah, hit that like button for me. I've never been to Alaska. I don't know if my dad had ever went back neither, but he was born there. It says right on my birth certificate. Yeah, I've only gotten two super, or not even super chaps, cat, because I'm not eligible for none of that yet. You know what I mean? But I don't make any money off YouTube. This isn't something that I come on here and get paid for. I come on here and love football, guys, because I love football and I love talking to you guys. Yeah, I mean, I think it'd be cool to visit there someday, just because my dad's from there. I think it'd be cool to visit Alaska. I just when I envision Alaska, I just see like glaciers and stuff. I know it's probably not like that, but I just envision glaciers and all that. Now, is it true that there's in Alaska, like it's daylight 6 months of the year, and is that a real thing? Thank you, Elwood. I appreciate you. Thank you, Frozen. Thank you. Yeah, man. I don't make no money for this. I just do it I do it because I love y'all. You know what I mean? And not to mention, even when I get to 1,000 subscribers and I'm eligible, listen, I gave out $2,000 when I got the 500 subscribers, and I'm not rich, not even close. So I would love to make some money off YouTube. Don't get me wrong, I would love to, but any money that's donated, trust me, it's gonna be half that's coming back to you guys. You know what I mean? Half that's gonna come back to you guys and special giveaways and offers. You know what I mean? So whatever money I make because I get to talk to you guys, and you guys are like co-hosts. You guys are like my co-hosts. Each and every one of you is like a co-host with me. You guys are part of this channel, and I'll continue to give back to you guys. So anything that this channel ever brings in, you guys are gonna see the rewards of that. Truly, truly. Summertime is daylight 24 hours a day. Now, do you have part of the year that it's dark 24 hours a day? Wintertime, we get like 5 hours of sunlight a day. Summertime is daylight 24 hours a day. That's got to be trippy. Janky Jim, listen, it's my honor to come out here and talk with you daily. I was actually talking to my wife yesterday, and I'm really gonna buckle down and try to, because lots of times I have a subject in mind that I want to talk about, and I want to get good content, informational content to you guys. But lots of times when I come on and we start talking, it's more of just interaction between me and you guys, which is absolutely phenomenal. And I love it. I love it. But I think I'm going to start at some point soon. I think I'm going to do a 10-minute, 12-minute video discussing a certain topic. I'm going to release the video at maybe 10 o'clock, and then I will come live at 10:30, and we can discuss what's on the video. So that way we're still doing the live interaction, the bantering back and forth, the conversations, the personal time, but I'm still delivering you guys with good content also. You know what I mean? If you guys think that's a good idea, let me know. Raphael, listen, sleeping with you. You're crazy, bro. Blackout curtains probably sell well in Alaska. Yeah, I mean, fishing and hunting is dope with constant light. It's just it's so weird. It would just be so weird. I think I do want to experience that. I do want to experience it never getting dark. I just think it would be nice to give you guys legit content. We're at 19 likes. Can we get that last 20th like, please? How about releasing the video the day before so people have time to watch it? Well, I mean, I feel like if you tune in at 10 o'clock, you tune in at 10 o'clock. You know what I mean? But yeah, I mean, I'll figure something out. I just, like I said, I want to be able to give you information, real life information about a certain subject, and then we can discuss it because I don't want to give that up. You know what I mean? I understand, Shake. We'll figure it out. I'll figure it out for you. 20 likes. Alaska needs their own football team, maybe polar bears. It's not a bad idea. That's good for the algorithm. I don't know how that algorithm is. Thank you, Michael. Thank you for everybody that stops by on a daily basis. Remember, spread the word. If we can somehow get to 700 subscribers somehow, some way, let's make it happen. So I can give this stuff away. Again, if anybody talks the reason, try to point them in my direction so we can, or the dive bar or any of them groups. I'd love to contribute with anybody else. Try to plug me in. I appreciate it. I'll be back tomorrow. You know what time it is. Until then, I love y'all. Fins up. Peace.
You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. Looking for change, looking for pain. Pulling a mob, pushing a train. I'll never stop, stick to a lane. Pick up the pieces and go rearrange. I'll be the best above all the rest, put me to the test and expect nothing less, your check as I'm chess, what's happening next, yeah. He got the venom, a tangible weapon, no coming in second. This life is a lesson, he got a new engine from pain, that's a blessing. New focus, no guessing, just bold and obsession. All in his possession, you got their attention. I'll leave an impression and take your redemption. Just kill, no discretion, your mind is a weapon. 11-11, it's time for progression, You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing ain't easy. Bloody hands stained from the people who deceive me. Muddy hands break through the chains, go free me. People like sheep move feet, hurt it easy. You don't wanna be fast asleep when they see me. Better stand tall, ready for a fight, believe me. When they try the chains, you can say no, free me. So he's been looking for somebody who could save him, instead of searching inside for what they gave him. A strong will, strong mind causes mayhem. We could change the world, change times, rearrange them. Staying on pace, running the race. Life is a chase, I don't want a place, I wanna be first. Work till it hurts, dehydrated thirst till I'm in a hearse. High ambitions and the right mind can take you so far. It's like you lived a few lifetimes. Take off from a break off from the weak minds. They can stay soft, you can change lives, you create thoughts, never waste time. You got one shot, you got one life, better pop off. What do you like? Make a dream job. No 9-5, no mean boss, just my life and free thoughts. You could try to play, but you're never gonna beat me. Look the other way, what I'm doing